Hello everybody. Today I am going to do a quick tour of what you can do with WordPress.com, which is not to be confused with WordPress.org. The purpose of this video is to see if WordPress.com is the right tool for you and kind of briefly go over all the items that you would get under the personal account. The current account that I have is personal. It's $4 per month, which is billed yearly at $48 per year. There is a free version which you can sign up for and allow you to experiment on your own to kind of get a better feeling of the capabilities of the WordPress platform. Now, what you'll see is that a lot of the features will be unlocked unless you upgrade to the business version, which is $25 per month, which equals about $300 per year. In a future video, I will go over more details between WordPress.com versus WordPress.org, but today it's WordPress.com. So essentially, in a nutshell, WordPress.com is a full-service WordPress provider that basically allows you to enter a credit card and then choose a domain, and you're basically all set up and running with a WordPress that you can use to deploy a blog or a website with the help of the people who actually created WordPress, which is automatic. Alright, once you sign up to WordPress.com, you'll be taken to a page that looks just like this. This is what I call the dashboard. And the first thing you want to do is click on themes in the left-hand menu here. And this will get you to a page where you can select the theme. The themes come in either free or premium. The premiums I have in Australian dollars because this is for a client that's in Australia, but in US dollars, it's going to range between $30 to about $100 for the premium. The free obviously is free. Now, it's important that you select your theme carefully, and it might take a couple times to get it right. And what I mean by that is that you'll see later on when we go to customize the theme, you're not going to always have the flexibility to customize everything that you need to without upgrading to the business package. The only capabilities that you'll be able to customize is what's provided by the theme, and each theme will, depending on who created it and how flexible it is, will be limited in what you can and can't customize. So what I mean by that is, so in this example, I am using the current theme is Karuna, and I'm gonna go to customize. Here on the left-hand menu, you can see the different features of this theme that I can customize. We see that there's a site identity, which allows me to upload a logo, which will show up in the upper left here, as well as the site title, the tagline. These two are going to be in the background, I believe. And again, you might have to play around with it to kind of see where they show up. And then the footer credit, which is at the bottom, which says powered by WordPress.com. If I wanted to remove that, it requires me to upgrade to the business plan. But with this particular theme, I'm not allowed to change what's at the bottom. The only options are these that are options in this drop-down box. But if I wanted to create like a copyright or powered by something else, I'm not able to. Now, other themes might allow me to be able to add my own footer text, but with this particular theme, I'm not. So that's an example of what I mean by the flexibility that would be different between the themes that you select. Another example is, for example, like the fonts. I am only able to select these particular fonts. I'm not able to customize using a different font, nor am I able to change the particular size of the font. These are the only options: tiny, small, normal, large, and huge. And for regular, there's regular and bold, there's no italicized. So if you want italicized, you'll have to use a font that's kind of already italicized. And that's for the heading. So that's for this part right here. Now for the base font, which this site might not have, I think this might be a base font right here. You know, I'm able to change to these types of fonts, but nothing more. I'm also incapable of changing the font color, at least on a global scale. So in both cases, the heading and the base font, I'm not able to change the font colors. Other themes might allow me to change. There might be an option down here or down here to allow me to change the font color, but as is with this template, I'm not able to. Nor am I able to use CSS if you're a developer or you want to hire a developer to customize the template a little bit more to your liking. They're not able to add their own custom styles or your custom styles to the theme without having to upgrade to the premium plan, which I believe the premium plan is the business plan that's billed at $300 per year. But nonetheless, there are feature settings that you can change out of the box. I feel like they're limited, but it might be enough for kind of a basic website. So here I can change the images, and there's other stock images that you can select from, which I believe are royalty free, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, double check your sources. Homepage settings, nothing too special about that. We'll visit the post page shortly, what that means. And theme options is basically if you want to display your first 4 blog posts on the homepage or not. So that's with the theme options. Again, this may differ between the different themes that you choose. I do believe, and it would make sense that the premium themes, the ones you have to pay for, would have more options for you to customize versus the free ones. But I have seen some really good free ones. Now, if you want a quick peek of what templates are available under the WordPress.com platform, you don't actually have to set up an account. You can easily go to WordPress.com/themes, and you'll see a screen just like this, and allow you to briefly go through and see if there's a template that best match your particular look and vision that you want for your website. So the next thing I want to demonstrate is how to create web pages for your website, which is easily done by clicking on Add in the left-hand menu. And here, I'm going to go ahead and create a test page to kind of demo out what that looks like. And this is pretty similar to the WordPress.org equivalent. As you can see, you can put in text. You can also, just like Word, go in and customize the different font types. So let's see if I could do that. 1 second. Well, it looks like you can't change the font type, but you can at least specify the heading, which will be a larger font text. Let's cancel out of that. You can bold, italicize things in this particular section. There's spell checking. You can left align, right align things. So let's highlight this and let's make this centered. You can also make certain text a hyperlink. So pretty basic things. You can even add images. So we can add images just like this into the text or into the page. Now you are limited, like you just saw. You can't change the font type, you can't change the colors. You're very limited in terms of the font size. But in any case, if you want to just type text on a web page or a blog post, you can. And there's some limited formatting things that you can do, as well as add images, as you can see. And once you're done, you can click on publish to then have it live on the site. Now I just revert my changes, but I want to showcase that you could easily add a contact form So I'm just going to add one right in the middle. We'll just do the default setting. And here we can easily add a contact form, which is really nice as part of the WordPress.com platform, is the ability to easily create a contact form. I'm going to go ahead and click on publish. And I'm going to publish this. Now it is live, but it won't show up in the menus. There's a second part to that to make it show up in the menu. So I'm going to go ahead and click on close. I wanted to add one more page just as an example to showcase how to create a blog page. So I'm going to go to add. I already have a page called blog, but let's create another one and let's call it stories. So stories essentially is going to be where our blog exists. I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Now we just created the stories and we created a test page. They do not show up in the menus currently. In order to have it show up in the menus, we will go to customize. And then on the left-hand side menus, there is a menu where we could then add our 2 pages that we just created. So we have stories, we have tasks. Let's just put it last. And of course, you can move things around. You can also have it as a sub menu under a different menu. And one additional thing I wanted to do to showcase is that you can also create a custom link that will link off to another site. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll have this go to Yahoo. And then we can also change the navigation link or navigation text. We'll add that. That will show up last. And then everything else looks good. Of course, you can always change the navigation label for all the other menu items. And let's go ahead and click on publish. So now what we just did is we added 2 pages that we created to the menu, plus a custom link that will link off to another site. Now I think one more thing I need to do with the custom link is, let's see if I'm able to do it. I wanted to link off by opening up a new tab, but I don't think it gives me that capability. Let's just test this quickly. Yeah, it's not opening up a new tab. And I'm not seeing the capabilities for it to do that. So any link off would essentially take the users off your website instead of opening up a new tab and having the site be on that new tab, the off link site. So that's unfortunate. Now the one thing I wanted to showcase is currently the stories is an actual web page. So what that means that if I click on stories, it's going to be a blank page called stories, which we don't want. We want all our blog posts to be under stories. Test works fine as a test page. There's tests and then there's our fake content with the contact form. But stories should be a blog. And as you can see under blog posts, we do have a couple articles that are already written, but they're not showing under stories. In order to have it show up under stories, we will go to settings and under writing, I believe. It's not under writing, but within writings, you can have it so that it shows either 10 articles per page or less. You can change the amount of articles that shows up per page. Might be under general. Let's double check. Well, within settings general, if you ever wanted to take your website out from WordPress.com, let's say in the future you've outgrown WordPress.com and you want to take it to the next step and actually own your own WordPress website, add a host, you could export out your website. It'll export out all the data, all the images into a file, and then you can take that file and import it to your future WordPress site. So that is nice. So you're not locked into WordPress.com. Discussions, as I'm going through, it gives you features to allow people to make comments or not make comments. When a blog article is closed to comments, or you can keep it open for comments forever. I'm not seeing where to set stories as our blog. It might be under customize. Let's double check. Theme options. Nope. It's actually under homepage settings. I want the post page to be the stories page that I've created. Let's click on publish. And let's double check our work. I'm going to refresh the site. If I go to stories, now it contains the excerpt of all the post articles that's on the site. Kind of a table of contents, and then people can click on read more to read the full article. So that's how you would essentially create a blog post page. It's kind of a template. You leave it blank, and then within settings, go into homepage settings, you then choose that particular page to host all the blog posts. So I'm going to go back and showcase blog posts. Blog posts are essentially the same things as site pages. They work the same way. So you can click on add a new blog post. So I'll do test blog post. And then I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Now with blog posts, you don't actually have to add it to the site menu and all that stuff. It will automatically show up under the blog post page, which we've set to stories currently. So here's our test blog post. This is private. Since I'm logged in, I can see the private post. This one might be scheduled for a future date. If you're logged out, then you won't see this. You'll see the test blog post, which is the most recent blog post, show up. And that's essentially it. That's essentially how you create a blog post. And then I also showcase how to create a page. The page does require secondary involvement where you add it to the menus afterwards. Else it would be one of those hidden pages that people would have to know the exact URL to get to it, which can be easily, you can easily find what that URL is by going to either site pages or blog posts, and then clicking on a particular blog post and then click on this hyperlink to discover what the URL is. And of course, you can always change the URL to your likings, and everything else will automatically adjust. The last component that I want to showcase, now it's kind of a moot point because under the current account that I have, which is the basic, that's the $48 per year, you won't be able to use it unless you upgrade to the business plan. So this particular section, the plugin section, is the place where if you want to enhance your website to do more than the out of the box that comes with the WordPress.com platform, even under the business. So for example, if you want to enhance your site's SEO, or you wanted to add e-commerce capabilities, or if you wanted to, let's go over and look at popular. Let's say you wanted to increase security with the login attempts, or something more practical like, for example, newsletter integration with MailChimp. You would have to go to plugins, but you're not able to install these plugins unless you upgrade to the business plan. So unless you're really happy with just the out-of-the-box capabilities of WordPress.com, if you actually want to customize something that's not part of the theme, that's part of the free theme. If you purchase a premium theme, that might be a different story, but that's going to be added costs. But if you wanted to like change the font colors, the font sizes in your actual articles, in your blog posts, and your pages, you're not going to be able to because you can't edit the CSS. If you want to enhance your website with, an image gallery or newsletter integration, SEO, things like that requires plugins, you're not going to be able to unless you upgrade to the business plan. So there's a lot you can do, but there's also a lot that you can't do. So it's kind of up to you to kind of discover if the regular base WordPress.com works for you or not. Now, I would urge you to perhaps watch my next video where I would go into a little bit more details between WordPress.com versus WordPress.org and take into consideration the different pricing package that WordPress.com offers versus some of the pricing of actually owning your own WordPress.org website on a third-party hosting. So till then, I urge you to perhaps just sign up to the free account and experiment on your own